and welcome to another episode. Are they called episodes? Do we call them episodes? I have no idea what we call them, but it's another Instagram Live with me, Becky Greaves, the Mindful Ginger Nut. Today I am delighted to welcome Reiki healer Emma Gower. Emma is a Reiki practitioner and founder of Heart to Head. So I'm going to let Emma in before I do anything else because I can see she's waiting, so that's good. Tech's working. Me yet, so I'm hoping Emma will appear like magic any second. Here she is. Well, half of Emma's here.
Just that.
It's not that kind of channel, Emma.
I was going to say it could have been all boob. Hello. Hello, lovely.
Hello, thank you so much for joining me. I love the fan in your background.
Oh, thanks.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you. Car boot sale.
You're joking. That's amazing.
Oh my God, I love a car boot sale.
We have one here, I think, every Sunday in Lewis, but I've not managed to make it there yet. So, but you know, this time.
We went to one in Hampton Court on Sunday, and I bought the most beautiful angel, brass statue angel with like her wings and everything. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Fabulous. That's okay. We can run these things however we like. So before you jumped on, I was just giving a very brief explanation as to who you are. I'll let you dive into that a bit deeper in a second. So the main theme of this series of Instagram Lives, for anyone who's new to listening to these, is about exploring the connection between our well-being and the online world, because obviously it can be quite a weird place at times. So I've got Emma here with me today, and we're going to be diving into how to protect your energy as an empath, especially when navigating that online space. So whether you identify as an empath or you just find online spaces a bit draining sometimes, this one is going to be for you. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Emma. Should we get into it? Shall we go for it?
I'm excited.
Yay! Okay, so I'd love you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Heart to Head and your journey into the wonderful world of Reiki and all things energy related.
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. And thank you so much for asking me to do this. I've been so excited. I can talk about energy and empaths and this sort of stuff for bloody hours. So if I keep wanging on, reel me back in.
We can always do a part 2 another time, don't worry.
So yes, hi, I'm Em, and as Becky said, I call myself Em. I think because when I hear Emma, I feel like I'm being told off. It relates to when I was a kid.
Mental note, stop calling you Emma.
I'm a Reiki Master teacher and a registered animal healer. I also am co-founder of Heart of the Phoenix, so we run retreats and circles and a beautiful women's membership. As I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, oh my God, who even am I? Because I come from a very different background. So I started in the finance world, which is a bit of a joke when you actually know me. Because I'm dyslexic with numbers, and it was a pretty scary place to be. So my transition over has been an interesting one and absolutely life-changing. I knew I never belonged there. It's never for me. So yeah, and I've been doing it for probably about 5 years now.
Fantastic. Can we dive into a little bit about why you left the financial world? Would that be okay?
Yeah,
I think that's quite an interesting story.
Well,
but so just for those who are watching, like I do know Emma a little bit. So Emma has done some Reiki on me before. We actually, our houses pretty much backed onto each other when I lived in Surbiton. So we are not new to each other.
No.
So yeah, I know a little bit about Emma's history, and I just think that would be quite an interesting road to go down.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm happy to share. Well, I mean, I was never happy in the bank, to be honest. In fact, I was never happy in my previous life. So I've had two completely separate lives in this one lifetime. And, you know, we can have loads of them. We can begin again every single day if we need to, which is fantastic. And I certainly did that. I started again because, yeah, I never enjoyed being in the bank. It was a job for life. I went in as a secretary, age 17, and I was there for 32 years, Becky. I like, oh, it's like, yeah, I know.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to share that. And I met some beautiful people there, still have friends from the bank. And, you know, yeah, I've learned some skills. Still don't know maths, but I've learned some stuff. But we got made redundant actually in 2020, which was a godsend really, because I've wanted to get out for ages and I needed that push to do it, because I thought, what else can I do? I don't know what else to do. Loved helping people, always loved helping people. And then someone said to me in passing about 9 years ago, did you know you're an empath? And I was like, what's that? I don't even know what that is. And then I ran off to Google it and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Like the world is making sense now. And so, I mean, we'll go over that a bit more, but I trained in energy healing and specifically Reiki not long after that, and absolutely loved it. And so I thought I was building it up alongside the bank job. And then when I got made redundant, I was like, okay, this is definitely what I want to do. It took a little while for me to be fully full time. In fact, it's been 18 months really that I've been fully full time. But energy healing and realizing that I was an empath has literally been a game changer. Yeah.
It's yeah, I think you were the first person who said to me that you thought I was an empath, and I kind of like was like, whatever, didn't really know what it meant.
No.
And then it wasn't until more recently where I've gone, like, I'm having this weird reaction to stuff that's going on around me, and I was like, I need to delve into this a bit more. And I was like, oh my God, Emma was right, like this is me all over.
It's
And
so, isn't it? It's so, I mean, it's probably a good idea to share what an empath is,
I was
right?
just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah. Um, uh, Empaths, we tend to have a more porous aura, so we are more sensitive to energies, and we can, I know certainly for me, my whole life I was always labeled as, oh, she's so sensitive. You know, I might have cried at Wheel of Fortune once when someone gave a bed to somebody else on it. I don't know, hormones or being an empath, I'm not sure, but I've always been very sensitive. And, you know, love being around animals, can be quite overwhelmed in large groups. And actually, if friends or family were going through something, I would often feel like I was experiencing with them. And you know yourself, like you can walk into a room as an empath and instantly you'll know whether the energy's off, or if there's been an argument, or if someone's upset or whatever. And I
Yeah,
mean, good stuff as well, it's not just the bad stuff, but it's really overwhelming when you don't understand.
yeah.
um, and it's a superpower. It really is a superpower. And I thought everyone felt the same. And there's lots of us out there, but not everyone does feel the same.
Yeah. I think it's the bit that I found really difficult was this. I've been surrounded, sadly, by a few friends who've gone through bereavements recently, and trying to. I found it quite difficult to navigate in terms of realizing that I was an empath, feeling what they were feeling, but not wanting to say to them, I know how you feel, because I'm in a different situation. I don't directly know how they feel, but I could feel their energy. And it's really hard to have that conversation with someone who perhaps isn't an empath, so doesn't understand that.
Totally. And you know what? That's such a good point. I found like a lot of my life always wanting to help people, like I said, but actually it was more of I want to fix people, because we are our intuition is like spot on. And there's also like a lot of people have the psychic gifts and lots of different gifts. And often we will sense things or see things before the other person has, or pick up stuff before they have. And when we offer that information without them asking it, it can come across as a bit like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah, unless you really understand
Yeah.
what it means. And I think, you know, even if there's people that watch this that aren't an empath, they're gonna know someone that is.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say quickly as well, if anyone is watching and they have any questions or you want to leave a comment, by all means, please use that comment box. That's what it's here for. I'll try and keep an eye on that while Emma's talking. So let's move on. So we know when you realised that you were an empath. What did becoming an empath sort of open up for you? How did that change your life?
Yeah, good question. So it made me self-aware. Okay, so it made me become aware of what I was feeling and then delve into why I was feeling it. Um, and and then I realized there were so many like light bulb moments, but I was really living my life, most of my life, especially as a childhood and a young adult, worrying about what other people were feeling because I was I could feel what they were feeling, so I always was so conscious of how they were, so I never even really thought about what I wanted. That's not their fault, but I never put boundaries in place. I didn't even know what a boundary was, you know. And that was the biggest thing, I think, was yeah, learning what a boundary is, learning how to put them in place. I can't remember what your question was.
It was how realizing that you were an empath, how that realization changed things in your life,
Yeah,
basically.
it was noticing what I was feeling, becoming self-aware, and also what Reiki has done for me, learning energy healing has helped me hold space for others without being affected by it. So you learn about, you know, protecting your energy, which we will go into later. But yeah, there's so many things it's helped with. I was very disconnected from myself for years. I was on autopilot, and I think so many of us live like that. Especially, the world is not created for humans to thrive. It's created for money to be made, unfortunately, but it's waking up. And interesting, you were saying at the moment that you're really feeling the energies and very sensitive to them. And anyone that's sensitive to energies at the minute are really feeling it because, as you know, I think we've chatted about this before, there's the world is crazy right now. It is mental, but for good reasons.
Mm.
It needs to be fixed, and stuff's coming up to the surface to break down and be rebuilt. But it's also happening to us as well on a level because we're all connected. We're like energetically, we were all connected, and so people might be feeling um, out of sorts. You know, sleep and everything is getting messed up at the minute because we've got lots of solar energy coming in.
Right.
We're actually being upgraded. Our light bodies are being upgraded, and so anything that doesn't resonate with us anymore is feeling really uncomfortable. And that could be jobs, it could be friendships, it could be family relationships. I mean, it's everything, you know. And so, and I went through that in 2020, and it's tough. It really is
Yes.
tough. Um, but so this is why I'm passionate about doing what I do, because in 2018 I had a breakdown, and like just didn't want to be here anymore. And I can relate now to when other people, I'm not like, you know, I'm not comparing myself to other people. Some people go much worse things, but I've come out the other side, and I never thought I would. And not only have I come out the other side, I'm so much happier than I've ever been.
Yeah, you're just like thriving.
I mean, it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
No, but I'm sure no one's life is it?
No.
You know, there are shit days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're doing so much good work out there. I love watching what you're doing. It's very inspiring. And I want to talk about the foxes. So don't let me go offline without mentioning the
Yeah.
foxes because I think that's magical. But we'll leave that till the end. So Are there some common signs that someone might be absorbing other people's energy that they can look out for in subtle or unconscious ways?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And um, I have been very fortunate to to start working with a lovely lady called Lorraine, who's also become a very dear friend, who taught me about lower vibrational energies, and she clears them from people's fields, so she keeps me sane. But so I learned about how they affect us, and the symptoms of them. For so long, Becky, I thought I had some kind of autoimmune disease because it would just happen randomly out of the blue. I could be in a restaurant, I could be with friends, wherever, excuse me, I would all of a sudden just feel absolutely exhausted, like to the point of, oh my God, I'm getting sick. Like like a flu would come on
Yeah.
automatically. Like I feel like my glands were swollen. I'd get a headache. I was like, I need to lay down, but like straight away. And this happened for so many years, and I actually just thought, oh my God, maybe it's in my head. And then when I learned about energies, and especially from lovely Lorraine, I realized that this is actually a symptom of picking up other people's stuff. And since using her stuff to keep my field clear, and there's lots of visualizations you can do as well, and we'll share some today. um, I haven't been experiencing that until until I actually I had a client recently, and it just so happened that I hadn't protected myself properly, and when they'd gone, I was absolutely exhausted, and Lorraine checked in with my field and said, oh, actually you've picked something up, you just didn't protect yourself properly. It's so fascinating. But there's subtle things as well. Like you could get like an instant headache all of a sudden, or even feel really aggy and really angry, and you don't know why. But so you're picking up those psychic hits from somebody else. Yeah, I mean it's
Fascinating.
and
It's
being
really
aware
fascinating.
is the key, because if you don't slow down enough to notice how you're feeling or check in with yourself regularly throughout the day, then you're not going to understand, and you're not going to be able to change it. So, and that's what I did. I just went through life on autopilot, feeling shit all the time. I was ill all the time, all the time.
I've got so many things I want to pick up on from that, but I'm gonna park that for now. Otherwise, we're not gonna get through everything that I want us to discuss. But that's really resonated with me, and it's really made me think about my own situation. Um, but I'll ponder over that, and we can perhaps come back to that one.
Yeah.
So, why is energy protection so important, especially for empaths?
Well, mainly because of the stuff that we've spoken about can affect you. It can affect us. Um, it can make us quite ill. Um, but also, you want to understand whether it's your energy you're feeling or somebody else's. And sometimes it could be as simple as just checking in with yourself, right? How am I feeling? Maybe you've been triggered or something, and just asking the question, is this mine or somebody else's? And then you'll get the answer. You'll just know. Um, but yeah.
That's so interesting, because that was going to be one of my questions, around like how do you know when it is
Mm,
you that's out of kilter, or when you are picking up on other people's energy? That's so interesting that it could just come to you, like if you ask like the universe.
yeah. Yeah, you're asking the universe, your guides, whoever it is, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, just checking in and saying, is this mine or is this somebody else's? But then there is the other side to all of this as well, as a human being, not just as an empath, that we are, and this is something that fascinates me and something that I discovered, a few years ago. It wasn't even that long ago, that we are all walking around programmed as human beings. And so our program is created, it starts in the womb up until around age 7. And that program creates our belief around the world and ourselves. And that includes our limiting beliefs about ourselves. And we've all got this, right? But the program comes from other people. It comes from school, parents, teachers, society, TV. So it's not even our beliefs, right? And we've all got it. Um, and that runs the show 99% of the time, until you become aware that, number one, this program exists, and number two, you start just checking in with yourself, because we're triggered constantly. We're like walking antenna. I was driving to Lidl the other day and I just looked at everyone. It was in rush hour, and I don't get out in rush hour much anymore, thank God. And I was just looking at everyone, and just everyone just looks so stressed and just in their own heads. And obviously most people go into a job they don't really enjoy, and that we're just triggering each other constantly, and but that's not who we are at a soul level.
No.
Who we are at a soul level is just love, right? But
Yeah.
human being, we've picked up all of this programming and these wounds and these beliefs about ourselves. And so becoming aware of those is a massive game changer too. Because maybe someone else has triggered something in you that just needs a bit of
Yeah.
attention,
Yeah.
if that makes
It's so interesting. So interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the online space, Emma, if that's okay with you.
sense.
How can social media affect an empath's energy?
Oh my God, massively. So, oh God, it's so easy to get caught in that doom scroll for a start. But so I do a regular spring clean of my social media, so of my feed, what I'm looking at. And interestingly enough, I think I was talking to Mel today, and people say to us, oh God, social media can be such a depressing place, and it's so angry, and it's so whatever. And absolutely, yes, it can, especially the community pages. They're the ones where
Yeah.
I go in, I literally dip in and I'm out, because they are honestly, because people are stressed and they need an outlet. And so that's where they go to do it. And it's really toxic. So I make sure that my feed is full of stuff that I want to look at, so mostly animals, like frogs
Yeah.
and dogs and cats, and spiritual stuff, and good stuff that makes me happy. And I think that's the thing, when you're looking on your phone, again, check in with yourself. How is this making me feel when I'm looking at that? If that's making me angry, stop looking at it. I stopped
Yeah.
news years ago. We need to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Know what's going on. I'll dip in to get as much information as I need. But honestly, unplugging from the news is the best thing you can do. And social media
Absolutely.
can be like that. You just need to control what you're seeing.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that as well. I mean, I it was during the pandemic, because I'd sat glued to the news during the first part of the pandemic,
Mm.
and I had throughout my life, whenever some big world event had happened, 9/11, I would sit there just glued to the news. I don't know. I don't know what it was that made me not be able to stop watching. But halfway through the pandemic, then I was like, this isn't doing my mental health any good. I need to step back from this. And I got a little bit of criticism online at the time for doing that, because some people do perceive that then as you switching off from the realities of the world. But let's be honest, through the news sources, we rarely get a balanced view of what's going on in the world anyway. There's so much bias out there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, really, really interesting. I too, you're not naive by not watching the news. You do just pick it up from other sources, don't you? I listen to the radio. The news comes on the radio,
Absolutely.
and it is on social media, and everyone's got an opinion, but it is just finding the right accounts on social media to tune into that aren't going to give you that biased opinion. And
That's very true. And also, as an empath, seeing all of the stuff that's going on in the world will make you ill. It's because we take that on. We take on all of the world's troubles. We were never meant to know everything that we have access to.
no.
Human beings, it's too much information. I'm
Especially in live time now with, like, you know, TV, social media, we know everything as it happens. You know,
yes,
back in the day when it was carrier pigeon,
yeah, yeah,
you'd wait at least a week.
yeah. Like when you put your photos in at Boots or whatever, and you couldn't wait to
Yes.
get them developed. Now, thousands, and I don't do anything with them.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you
But
do.
yeah, no, that's, I would 100% agree with you on that one. I'm just having a look to see what else is on my list of questions. We're rapidly running out of time. Um, yeah, so other than, obviously, you go through your feed and check to see kind of the accounts that you're following and if they're still relevant, I guess, to what you're interested in, and are they damaging your space, your energy. Is there anything else that you do in terms of that online space, because you do have a huge online presence? You know, are you a scroller, are you sitting there scrolling all evening looking at Fox pictures and videos, or are you, do you have, you mentioned earlier on that you weren't very good at setting boundaries. Have you got better at setting boundaries in that online space?
Yes, I have. Although I am still known to get lost in a bit of scrolling, but I catch myself now. Maybe 20 minutes, no, not even 20 minutes, I don't think it is. Maybe 10 minutes would be, and I'd be, but I can feel it in my body when I'm doing it. I can just, it's like, it's like a wash comes over your body, and and my feed is good, but it's like, yeah, it just doesn't feel right to be sitting just doing that, because I'm
Yeah,
not getting anything from
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? But also to put yourself in your protective bubble, because
yeah,
visualization is really powerful. Our brains don't know the difference between fact or fiction. It only knows what we tell it over and over again. So visualizing yourself in something like a golden bubble is really protective. And doing that before you go on your, before you interact with anything, before you pick up your phone in the
yeah.
morning, pop yourself in your bubble. If you're working with lots of people like I am, then you might need some stronger protection.
Mm.
But whatever it is, be intentional with it. Just give yourself that moment to set it.
I think that's probably where I struggle, because I'm not often, you know, I spend a lot of my day sitting by myself at my desk. When then I do get up to go and, I don't know, go into town and have a coffee somewhere, I forget to put that bubble around me. I mean, I guess I should put it around me every morning anyway, because it's not just in-person stuff, is it, that's going to affect my energy? It is the online stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah. So doing it before you get out of bed,
Mm,
brilliant. It's done then, and you can do it
yeah,
every day. But the other thing that's really important is to disconnect. So we're protecting, but we also need to disconnect, because I'm a believer in every interaction, even a thought we have about someone. There's that invisible cord that connects us to each other, because we are all physically like connected with energy, and so every evening make the intention to disconnect from everyone else around you. And there's lots of different ways of doing that, and I'm going to share my empath protection document, so people can just go on there and have a look at those.
brilliant. That'd be really helpful. One question that I did want to ask, actually, just going back away from the online stuff, is, are there any grounding practices or rituals that can help to protect our energy? I suppose with the online space, and other than putting the bubble, the golden bubble around us, or whatever that looks like, is there anything else that we can be doing? Because when I think of grounding, I think I've mentioned to you before, I have a really weird sensation actually where I'm sitting right now, and I can literally feel that, basically, the roots going from my feet deep
Brilliant.
into the earth. And it happened recently where, and I'd just come out of having like a bit of a blip, and all of a sudden I realized, gosh, I haven't felt that energy for a long time. And then within a few days it soared through me like an electric current.
Brilliant.
it
Brilliant.
was it was terrifying but magical at the same
Yeah.
time. I mean, maybe that sort of grounding, you know, I like to feel my feet planted on the floor. Perhaps that isn't right for everybody, but are there any other rituals that you could suggest and recommend for people?
Well, the sort of grounding is absolutely necessary for everybody, but especially empaths. And you can do it like we are, sitting at home with your feet on the ground, just closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and then visualizing you've got roots coming out the bottom of your feet, going all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth, wrapping around her beautiful crystal heart. And then you just breathe up her energy. And that's a really quick and easy way to ground. And getting your feet on the floor outside, even better. Nature, we need to get out in nature as much as we can. We really do. And in the mornings, looking at natural daylight first thing in the morning before we go onto our screens. Or I'm saying all this, I don't do all of this all the time, I'm not bloody perfect, you know. We're all winging it, right? We all know what to do, it's just doing it. But so make it a habit, like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
That's why I give myself Reiki, and I play Lorraine's recordings, because she's got recordings that protect you and set up a vortex around your body every day. So I play her recordings before I even get out of bed, because once I'm out of bed, it's game over then, and I'm, you know.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's amazing. That's so good. And I know you're a big nature lover. So are you okay for time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Before we go on, I want to tell everyone about the wonderful relationship you have with your local foxes, because every time I see your videos, I know not everyone is like a fan of the fox. I personally love them. Maybe it's the ginger hair, I don't know. But Emma has this really magical relationship with some foxes that frequently visit her garden and even your street, because they follow you, don't they?
They do. We befriended a family a couple of years ago. So it was a mum and dad, and then they had a baby. Victor, Vicky, and Red. Just, you know.
Love that you named them.
And yeah, they came and visited us, and I actually gave Victor Reiki, which was so magical, because he's a bit of a fighter, not a lover. When he turns up, he's got chunks missing from his ears and whatever. Actually, one day he turned up and his eye was a bit swollen, so we contacted one of the local fox charities, which again I will give you the link to them if anyone else needs them.
Yeah.
They were amazing. Sent antibiotics, we put them in his food. Within days it had cleared up, but had appeared months later and we hadn't seen him, looking a bit worse for wear. And I thought, I just need to give you some Reiki. And so I did. I sat at the top step. He was at the bottom, and I just sat, because you don't need to, as you know, distant Reiki works. We've done that before. And I just sent him Reiki, and he fell asleep at the bottom. Stuart was walking past and he videoed it. I didn't know he was behind me, which was, yeah, it was just beautiful. And we've now got a new one in the area. There's 2 new kids on the block, and he came in the flat the other day.
No.
And actually nicked one of my friend's shoes. He didn't take it. Animals are so perceptive, or what's the word? Accepting of Reiki, because they just feel.
And I think they genuinely just pick up on good vibes, don't they? I've had we had thunderstorms. My concept of time is all askew at the moment thanks to my hormones, but at some point in the last week there has been a hedgehog appear it was thundering here, and after the thunderstorm this hedgehog just appeared outside the hedge, outside my kitchen window. Never seen a hedgehog here before, and literally it just popped its head out as I was looking out of the kitchen window, and it felt like such a magical moment. I was like, this is just...
Did you look up the meaning of hedgehogs?
No, I didn't. No.
I don't know what it is, but I would look it up, because when we see an animal, especially if we see an animal in an unusual place, or if we're seeing them regularly, then if we can look at what the meaning of that animal is, they often are bringing us that wisdom, which is just amazing.
I'm going to do that as soon as we come off this call. Yeah. This live, not a call. That would be fascinating. Yeah. I'm gutted I haven't seen it again since. I would love to, but it's clearly it'd gone so dark here. I think it thought it was nighttime. I think that's why I popped out.
Well, that's what I'm going to say to you, actually. Two things. So, energetically, the magnetic poles are shifting of the earth at the moment. Like, so this is all part of this big awakening and the big purge that we're all going through.
Yeah.
And animals are appearing in places they wouldn't normally appear. Like, there's been orcas off of Cornwall, you know, because they follow the magnetic pole, that the animals. But also, what you were saying about your hormones, in our membership, so many of us women have been sharing, because it's so good to have a place where you can just share how you're feeling and realize you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And yes, it might be hormones, but all of us for the last couple of weeks have been forgetting words and sentences. Like, we'll go to, like, you'll go to talk and go, I don't even know what I was going to say, I can't even remember. And is just not to get frustrated with it. Just, if it's important, you'll remember it. Do you know?
Yeah.
At the moment, I think a lot of the chatter is being taken away. So don't.
So, honestly, Emma, I could talk to you about this stuff all night. It is so fascinating. I was lucky enough to become part of your membership for you gave me a trial, didn't you, on
Yeah,
your membership? And unfortunately at the moment I just don't have the time to
I
commit to being in the community because I'm part of so many at the moment. But it's got me and I'm like, I so want to come back.
know. Right. Well, listen, we'd love to offer anyone a free trial, actually. So if they do want to, well, I'll give you the details of that.
Brilliant.
Because there's, yeah, you know, you can dip in and out as much as you want. If you don't, you know, life happens, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And yeah, it's been an interesting year. So I've had to be a little bit careful about where the money's going. But we're bouncing back. It's okay.
Good. Oh,
So before we finish off, I'm just going to also apologise for my lovely rosy glow. It's the lighting in here.
I actually was thinking how beautiful your skin is, how dull I look.
Looking radiant. No,
You are looking great.
this is me. I'm actually too hot in this shirt, and then I've
Oh,
put a lamp on my desk,
oh, so
and it's
really.
giving off this really red glow. So before we wrap up, obviously you've mentioned your membership. Is there anything else in particular that you'd like to signpost people to, so they can find out about a bit more about you, about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I can, yes, I can. My Instagram has got the links on it, but also my website's got some information on. And we've got a link to the membership site. So there's a few different links with some information on. If you are interested in learning about energy, and maybe like, because I teach Reiki as well, I teach Reiki 1 and 2 at the moment, and empaths find it really useful. So if anyone's interested in that, then yeah, just reach out through any of my channels. I'd be happy to chat about that. And yeah, I mean, I would say surround yourself with your kind of people. What I found when I was going through this massive transition was that I kind of lost a few people along the way. And, you know, it's nothing against anyone. It's just that life happens. We are vibrating at different
Yeah.
levels. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And you really need to be around your people. And when it's not easy navigating at the moment, so just make sure that you've got good support. We are not meant to do this on our own. And even if you don't join our membership, please reach out to us, but reach out to me, because you know I get it.
And she really does, peeps. She really does get it. Emma, thank you ever so much for joining us. This will go onto my Instagram feed very shortly. I would say within the next half an hour. So if you want to share it, I'll certainly add you as a collaborator on there. It will also go on my brand new YouTube channel.
Oh,
Go me.
amazing.
So I do find YouTube so much better. Sorry, Instagram, but YouTube's so much better for putting like links and stuff in, following these kind of chats, because it's a bit hard to do that on Instagram in the captions. But
Yes.
that's one for another day.
Oh, brilliant. wait to check your channel out.
Yes, I will put a link to that somewhere. It's only got these lives on it so far, so there's nothing radically different to my Instagram. But yeah, I'll certainly share the link to that as well. Emma, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
There's been some really, like, just really brilliant information there. So I'll try and make sure that everyone gets the links to stuff. Emma has also sent me, am I okay to mention the meditation? Or is it a meditation or visualization? What do you call it?
A morning meditation.
Morning meditation. So Emma sent me an audio for that morning meditation. I'm going to try and find a way of linking it to Instagram. Watch this space. If we have any problems, just send me or Emma a message and we'll bring it over. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here, and yeah, we'll do part 2 another time, because I have so many more questions.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
My pleasure, and thank you everyone for tuning in and watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Thank you so much, and see you all soon. Bye. Now she's got to find out how to end it.